All right. So, I have a big mouth. Of course. I'm a writer. I'm a speaker, motivational speaker, whatever. I do workshops. I'm a school teacher. I talk every day. Four classes a day. I'm talking throughout the day. It's a part of my situation. And now I'm welcoming you to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm a science fiction writer, filmmaker, and comic book man, right? So, I majored in African history and business management, right? Well, so business management is the bachelor's, and African history was the collateral, the minor, right? So, I have a lot of history to myself. I'm 55 years old. I've seen and done a lot of things. And when I look at my life, I've been very privileged and having a lot of first-hand experiences. So I also am a speculator. I love to speculate. So yesterday when I was getting this nice haircut, shout out to my barber Andrew at Cutting Corners, right? It's funny, my old barbershop in Jersey used to be called Cutting Corners and Corner Cuts, and now I'm at Cutting Corners. It's crazy. Anyway, we got into a discussion about, this residual frustration with emasculation in movies, right? And we was talking about with females, right? And we were talking about female characters and women in general. And, I was like, hitting from a different angle. Like, what do you expect Angela Bassett's character and Shuri to do when the father was killed and the brother was killed? What do you expect them to do? Now, of course, we have tournaments and we can always select new Black Panthers, and no doubt. And really only M'Baku has ever, and Killmonger, the only ones that we've seen step up. So we don't know if there's others that want to do it, but we know that they had it happen. So the country had just lost the Black Panther, and they maybe didn't get a chance to regroup and do anything else, because we've seen that in Wakanda forever. What do you expect them to do? Cower down and cry for a male? The only one in that circle that had fighting experience is M'Baku, who he's running his tribe, and Shuri. So Shuri was really right there, you know what I'm saying? And she even mentioned it to M'Baku, right? And he agreed with her being the Black Panther. So what do you expect? So for people to say, it's uncomfortable. What the hell are you talking about? It's uncomfortable for, the women to have to step up. Have y'all never seen, heard stories of women doing things to protect their kids at incredible strength levels? Now, let's not even talking about the strength, because we know the male body is capable of being stronger than the woman's body, no doubt. We're not even going to compete with that. But what we will also say on the equal playing field, bravery, heart, those are things that fuel the masculine bone. Heart. Who got heart, son? You got heart. You got bravery. You understand? What does it mean to call a man and say man up? Heart up, yo. Use that male heart. Well, that's an even thing. Now, my theory, I approached maybe 10 years ago when I wrote this story about Harriet Tubman, and I gave it a lot of thought. And I started to think, who's done the bravest thing in African American history and in American history? Going into a fire and saving a family, that's brave, no doubt. Going up against the white power structure, brave, no doubt. Being a freedom fighter, being an activist, brave, right? I named my son Malcolm because of Malcolm X, brave. You understand? brave. Dr. King, brave. Marcus Garvey, brave. Frederick Douglass, brave. But the most bravest person that I am thinking, until people try to take it down, which a whole barbershop of people tried yesterday, and this is still my theory, and if we just competing, because again, this isn't a divide and who's better and none of that, so it's not any of that. This is just a simple conversation of frivolousness, right? I argued and still stand with sound that Harriet Tubman is the bravest African American that has ever lived, that we know of, right? Now, we know people have done brave things, they've risked their life. Heck, Nat Turner was one of those names that popped up. Brave, right? I'm not, that's brave. However, let's look at Nat Turner. Let's look at him. Oh, we're going to look at Dr. King. We're going to look at Malcolm X. We're going to look at all of them. Marcus Garvey, throw them all in there. Frederick Douglass, throw them all in there. And I was mad disrespectful. And I know I'm going to get hit back for this video because, when you're in the barbershop, it almost is like what's said in the barbershop should stay in the barbershop. And maybe in some barbershops they have that rule, but it never stays in the barbershop. So I'm going to say this, right? There was a scene in the Harriet movie where she pulled the man cards of everybody in that room, and brother Frederick Douglass was in there. Now, does bravery always mean the right thing or the best thing to do? Not always, but it still might be the bravest thing to do. So Harriet Tubman was like, y'all having a meeting about changing the narrative and moving the slide, but people is dying and we can't be waiting for your emancipation and the ending of slavery, what you're working out with Abraham Lincoln, Frederick. She's like, y'all should come with me right now. Now, mind you, they probably was older than her, whoever, probably not in shape or whatever. She was a master of fighting and probably disguise as well. So she had been doing it. But to leave slavery, right, successfully, even if you've got to go back and get your family, that is a lot of bravery. But she didn't just do it once. She didn't do it twice. She did it 100 times. She saved over 3,000 something people. She was the Floyd Mayweather of runaway slaves. She was a Floyd Mayweather, the Muhammad Ali of escaping slavery. Do you understand what hard? It was legal to kill a black person. It was legal to rape a woman. Do you understand? Those are the two most painful things to me. Nothing scarier than rape and murder, right? And it wouldn't have been no regular, beat 'em up murder. It would have been some time between horses murder. Malcolm X, he faced getting killed. He faced all of that stuff, but they would have had to kind of probably Emmett Till him. And I'm not disrespecting Emmett Till, but he probably would have had to torture him behind the scenes, in a risk, right? Because he had an organization that would have been looking for him. Anything would have happened, it would have been a wrap. It would have been a straight civil war, right? But with Harriet Tubman, she was by her lonesome. They caught her, they were good. They caught her, they could keep her. They could parade her. They could legally do things to her. She risked more. Same thing with Dr. King. If they touched the hair on Dr. King's body, it would have been probably even more people going after America than if they'd have touched Malcolm X. Okay? This dude was peaceful. You understand? And you touch him? What? He disappeared. We demand Dr. King's return. Do you understand? They had to snipe him. And, a lonesome dude had to do it. Had to do him like Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. They couldn't, be bold and take, because he was untouchable. You talk about Malcolm X, Dr. King was untouchable. You understand? Because people would demand, even Medgar Evers, he was untouchable. You know, they had to drive by him. They couldn't be bold and brazen. Like if they caught Harriet Tubman, they could have paraded her. We got her. She's my slave now. If they'd have caught her, she was legal game in the South. That's crazy risk. That's why Frederick Douglass, smart as he was, didn't do that, right? And then Marcus Garvey, come on now, I named my company Red, Black, and Green Promotions. Marcus Garvey, what? What's this dude, Grandmaster Mel or something, the one that had the army with black people parading around with guns, who's in jail now? He was nothing compared to Marcus Garvey. He imitated only one of the things that Marcus Garvey did. Marcus Garvey was more untouchable. He would dare you to touch him. They had to get him in federal court and deport him because he was running around with people, calling people, bring your guns. Dr. King and Malcolm X didn't do that. Marcus Garvey was bolder than both of them. Talk about untouchable. They couldn't touch him. Even if they tried, it would have been a war right off the bat just to get to him. He was surrounded. He had an army of people. 1,000 people showed up, I believe, in his rally in Minneapolis, somewhere in the Midwest. What? In Minneapolis? This ain't Harlem. Imagine what he could have done in Harlem. Bring your guns out. What? So let's throw Nat Turner in there. Harriet Tubman's still braver than that, right? We're going to say the act of overthrowing and seeking a revolt is very brave. I don't think I would be a Nat Turner. And to come close to success as Nat Turner did, what? We just know of Nat Turner. My thing is, Nat Turner isn't even the greatest slave revolt leader. You understand? I respect him and all of that, but we just tipped the iceberg when we start talking about slave revolts of Nat Turner. We got successful slave revolts, you know, and when you look at Africans, we can say, all right, they're African Americans, no doubt, but we gotta throw in there Africans in the Caribbean, Africans on the sea, all of that, and maybe even Africans in Africa. But if we're going to talk about Africans in Africa, Ya Santiwa, Queen Nzinga, and the rest of them, we can separate that. But when we talk about, you know, slave revolts, right? You got to include more slave revolts than just Nat Turner's, and we had a lot of successful ones. However, even if you want to put him up there against Harriet Tubman, that's brave. He knocked some heads out. He went down. However, I would say that even that, he was working with a team. Harriet Tubman was on her lonesome. You don't want to come? You don't see it? You ain't down? I'm out. Deuces. I'm going to get back. I'll get your brother back for you. Where your sister at? You supposed to be the man in 50 grand. You understand? I'll go rescue them for you. What? You need a hero? I will be that hero. You understand? Don't talk about it. Be about it. I forgot what the saying was. Get down or lay down, or, you know, something. Whatever Harriet Tubman's statement was, her line, that was gangster. That old lady that you see in the chair sitting in Canada, she's 90-something years old. That wasn't Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was gangster. She was in physical condition. She was a field hand who was outdoing other field hands. Yes, she was outdoing male field hands. Harriet Tubman is the most gangsterous, bravest person in African American and American history. Do you understand what women and black women are capable? Don't come for Wakanda forever. Fall back. Fall back, men that are shaky with your masculinity. You understand? Just because there's a strong woman out there don't mean you ain't a man, son. I'm still a man. I can't beat every man. I'm 5'7". I came to grips with that in middle school. But guess who I still am? I'm still a man. Fall back, dudes. Don't let this happen. If you want to come for me with somebody tougher than or braver than Harriet Tubman, please like, share, subscribe, and post your attempt in the comments. All right? Do your history. Now, is there somebody that I don't know about and that we don't mostly know about? Yeah, there probably is, right? And I'm waiting for you to tell me that. Maybe there's somebody that led a slave revolt over and over again, but they got to have the body count. They got to have the number count that Harriet Tubman just to come close. You know what I'm saying? Because doing something over and over again and being successful at it, now you're at that Floyd Mayweather status. You understand? All right. So anyway, I'm out. Talk to you later. Peace.